Hi everyone, welcome to my home. My name is Jane. Growing up in a traditional Korean household, we ate a lot of kimchi, and every one of them were amazing. But today, I want to share with you a very simple kimchi. It's the Korean pickle kimchi or Oi Kimchi. Now, if you've never made kimchi before, this is the one for you to start out with. Why? Because it's quick, easy, delicious, and ready to eat in a matter of days. Finally, I'm going to share with you 5 tips that's going to help you make delicious Oi Kimchi. I've gone ahead and washed all of my cucumbers and they're ready for the first process. But before I show you that process, I want to talk real quick about the pickles or the cucumbers. These are Gherkin cucumbers or pickling cucumbers. That's what you want to use. You don't want to use the Persian cucumbers. You don't want to use the English cucumbers. You don't want to use the cucumbers you typically find in grocery stores have that really thick skin because you'd have to cut it up too. These are the best ones for this. Oi kimchi tends to get soggy after a few weeks, but I'm going to give you my first tip of the day to help keep the Oi kimchi crunchy longer. So what I do is I put my washed cucumbers into a bowl. I'm going to pour boiling water on top of that and immediately remove them and put them in my ice bath. Nobody likes a soggy cucumber, right, ladies? I can't stop laughing. The cucumbers have been sitting in my ice bath. Now, this is your tip number 2. We're going to leave one end of the cucumber intact, like this. I'm going to quarter the other end. Now, the reason why we do this is because later on, when we fill this with the filling, the scallions and chives and ginger and everything else, you will help it stay enclosed in this so that all of the delicious flavors infuse into the pickles. All of my cucumbers have been prepped. Now it's time to put it in my salt water. So it's basically 4 cups of warm water with a ½ cup of salt. I've dissolved that. Now I'm going to pour it into here, and then it needs to sit in the salt water for about an hour to an hour and a half. While the cucumbers are in my brine, I'm going to prepare the spicy mixture that's going to flavor my cucumbers. The Korean chives is an integral part of this recipe. However, if you cannot find it, what I suggest is to use the green part of the scallion. Just add a bunch more. It won't taste exactly the same, but it'll still taste good. All my vegetables have been minced and placed in this bowl, and now I'm going to season it with gochugaru, which is Korean pepper flakes, sugar, and the fish sauce. Then I'm going to mix this all in together, and then this will be ready for me to put into my cucumbers. I let my cucumbers sit in the brine for about an hour, and then I checked and it needed a little bit more time, so I gave it about another 10 to 15 minutes. Now I know they're ready for my next step because when I bend each section, it gives really easily. We are ready to stuff our cucumbers. Now here's tip number 3. Wear gloves, otherwise your hands are going to smell like onions and garlic for days, and you don't want that. Okay, I've got my gloves on and now I am ready to stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a small tablespoon and generously fill the inside of my cucumber. Try to get it in all the little crevices, like that. And then also what you want to do is you want to kind of take a little bit and massage the outside of the cucumbers. See how it's nicely coated like this? And then set it aside. This will go in a glass jar in a little bit. Could you imagine if you were not wearing gloves, how messy your hands would be? I did this before and I needed something to clean my hands and get all the smell out. It was not very fun. We're almost to the finish line. We just have to now put the stuffed pickles or cucumbers into my jar. This is your tip number 4. Use a glass jar. Now, I'm not a scientist. I can't quite tell you what happens with plastic, with the chemical interaction. Whatever it is, it just doesn't taste good. Glass jar is a way to go. It will taste way better. Tip number 5, let your kimchi ferment for the first 2 to 3 days in a cool place, not in your refrigerator. But if you don't have access to a cool place like a garage, you can put it in the refrigerator. Just know that it's going to take more time for it to be ready to be eaten. I'm going to come back and show you in 2 to 3 days what it looks like and what it tastes like. So stay tuned. All right, everyone, it's been 3 days since I've pickled my Oi Kimchi. It sat in my cool garage for 2 days and then I stuck it in the refrigerator for 1 day. So it's day 3. So let's see what it looks like. It looks fabulous. I don't know if you can tell. It smells amazing. I'm gonna take one of these out. And if you're Asian, especially Korean, you know kitchen scissors come in very handy. Much easier to cut than the knife. I'm cutting a little smaller so that I can give it a taste. Okay, here goes. So delicious. Do you hear the crunch? Like I told you with my first trick of the day or first tip, to boil it and then put in ice water, it helps to keep the cucumbers really crunchy, and it's crunchy. It's not salty at all. It's just got the perfect balance of spicy, savory, yummy, delicious flavor. It's gonna go so well with all of your Korean dishes or even non-Korean dishes. Give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, share, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and press that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my next video. Thanks so much for watching.